Lynn, that was excellent. Thank you. I've got maybe a reversal through a client of mine on the amplifying other voices.
Yes,
so
great.
Here's a team where one individual always speaks up and does one of those right as might, like they always get on their horse, and the rest of the team shuts up because they're counting on George, to speak up and do that.
Yeah.
Any just comments about that or how to break that down? Because I think he revels in the role, but he's doing himself political damage.
Yeah. So, there's a bunch of ways to come at it. So that's, a spectator team. It's something you want to talk about. So I talk a lot about our expert obsession in organizations today, and I think it's doing us a huge disservice. So we've become so wrapped up in expertise that we think that the person who's the guru is the only one who can add value on a topic. So there's a few ways to come at it. One is using some kind of a tool, because if you take the example that I gave, and the Berkman is, in my opinion, by far the best tool in the market. If he, no matter what box he's in, it doesn't matter. Putting this up and saying, that's great, so you're going to really be able to represent and speak passionately and articulately about this perspective. But as soon as you put that up, it is very quantitatively obvious that he will not be able to represent the other perspectives. And so being able to use ways of saying, that's fantastic, thanks so much for sharing either, a functional view, you're from marketing, thanks so much for sharing the marketing perspective, or if you have a tool like this, that was awesome, I really hadn't thought about the sort of procedural kind of perspective on this. But even saying that gives very clear indication that there are other perspectives we need to hear. So lines like, what else aren't we paying attention to? What might we be missing? How else could we look at the same problem? And to actually use these big open-ended things that signal to both him, because one of the challenges is that there's a little bit about this is about him, but a lot about it is the people with the popcorn on the sidelines, because they've decided that they don't have something valuable to contribute. So, deal with him through something like this, helping him understand what he does bring and what he therefore doesn't bring, and deal with the other people by talking about, okay, guys, if you're that person, you're the one that you have an obligation to speak up, because without that, or perhaps you're the only one who comes from finance, or you're the one who's in the field and talks to our customers, but being very clear. One of the ones I didn't talk about today because of time is called Add Your Full Value. There's a chapter in the book about it, and what I'd be working on is actually helping each member of the team map out their full value, and then being able to say, great, he's given us this, fantastic. Now who's got this different perspective? So go through that, think of this as a problem you have to solve both for the person who's talking too much and for the people who aren't stepping up to their obligation to the team. Does that make sense?